Today we're going to take a look at the 2021 Honda CBR1000RR with ABS. We'll talk about where this bike fits in the Honda sport bike lineup and why it doesn't have as many R's as some of the other models, and we'll go over some of its specs and features, and we'll fire it up too so you can hear what it sounds like. And if you guys find any info in this video helpful, or you just like bikes in general, please take a second and hit the like button for YouTube's algorithm, as it helps more than you guys know. Now, where does this bike fit in Honda's model lineup? Technically, that depends on where you live, as Honda has some weird stuff going on right now with the CBR1000 platform, and which country gets what compared to how it would normally be. For 2021, Honda makes 3 different CBR1000 models. You have the CBR1000RR that you're looking at right now, and then you have the CBR1000RR-R Fireblade and CBR1000RR-R Fireblade SP. Now, up until 2020, the Fireblade and CBR1000RR were one and the same. Honda just didn't market the Fireblade nameplate in the USA, and you saw the CBR1000RR sticker instead of the CBR Fireblade sticker. Now, that's an entirely different video on its own, as I could ramble on for about an hour and complain about why we don't have the CBR1000RR Fireblade and we only have the more expensive SP variant, but it is what it is. It's coming though, and it should be for 2022. The only thing I don't know yet is if Honda plans to keep this CBR1000RR platform as a cheaper entry-level CBR1000 at $16,500 and then give us the RR Fireblade at $20,000 to $21,000 and then the Mac Daddy SP at the $28,500. And then we can't forget about the last one in Honda's current multiple R family, and that's the CBR600RR that comes in at $11,899 while being a step below this 1000RR. And I didn't forget about the other CBR models in Honda's lineup. It's just that these are their super sport bike models. In other words, these are the baddest of the baddest and practically a track bike with street clothes. The other bikes are great, but you have to keep in mind that they were built to a budget. Steel was used instead of aluminum and titanium, but that's an entirely different video on its own as well when it comes to the differences between having 1 R versus 2 Rs and now 3 Rs with the new platform. Heck, not much longer and we'll have to say CBR1000 quadruple R instead of CBR and now CBR so you don't sound like a pirate going RRRR. But let's get back on topic, and that's this 2021 CBR1000RR with ABS. This bike has an MSRP of $16,799, but if you opt for the non-ABS model, then it drops you down to $16,499. Surprisingly, you have 2 color options for both models too, which are Grand Prix Red and this matte black metallic. Now, before we start to get into some of the features and specs on this bike, there is so much technology crammed into this bike that it would take me an hour to really dive in depth and go over it all. So that leads me to a shameless plug. Check out the link below and head over to HondaProKevin.com, where I go into a lot more of the research and development that went into this, as well as more info on the bike overall. I want to take a quick second and say thank you to Southern Honda Power Sports for opening their doors to me and allowing me to come pick through their inventory for these videos. They are a massive Honda Power Sports dealer here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, with tons of inventory from new Hondas to used Harleys and everything in between that they sell to people from all over the USA. So check out the link in the description below and head over to their website to see if they can save you some money on your next toy. And with that being said, let's jump into some more info. We'll start off first with a few numbers. This bike's curb weight comes in at 433 pounds and knock off 3 pounds if you take off the ABS system. The engine makes 189 horsepower at the crank at 13,000 RPMs and 84 foot-pounds of torque at 11,000 RPMs, and it delivers 41 miles per gallon. The seat height comes in at 32.3 inches with 5.1 inches in ground clearance and a 55.3 inch wheelbase. And now when it comes to the suspension, you have a Showa 43mm BPF inverted fork with 4.7 inches of travel, and with its large damping volume, it effectively reduces hydraulic pressure generated under compression and extension. This results in reduced play during the initial stroke and smoother damping, maximizing tire contact with the road. And spring preload and rebound compression damping are fully adjustable as well. Then out back we have Honda's ProLink setup with a fully adjustable Showa balance-free rear cushion shock, BFRC. Instead of a conventional single tube layout, BFRC uses a double tube design, the damper case, and an internal cylinder. The damper piston has no valves. Instead, the damping force is generated consistently when switching from rebound to compress due to even pressure changes. And next up, we'll jump to the brakes. It has Tokiko 4-piston opposed radial mounted brake calipers up front, clamping on 320mm disc, and a single piston caliper out back with a 220mm disc, and it's the same if you go with or without ABS. However, the ABS does tie into the ECU's IMU, which features rear lift control, and the braking force is controlled according to lean angle. In short, the electronics package on this bike ties everything together to help make life easier when you're trying to go fast on the ragged edge. And then we come to the engine. It's a 998cc liquid-cooled dual overhead cam inline 4-cylinder with a 13:1 compression ratio and a 76x55mm bore and stroke. Is it the most powerful CBR to date? Nah, not anymore. The new RRR stole the show there, but with 189 horsepower, this bike is still stupid fast. If you've never experienced a modern day leader bike, you need to. Everyone should feel what these things pull like when you can really get on the road and open them up. It's insanity.
It feels like my brains are being sucked out.
But people get too caught up on horsepower numbers and not fun factor these days. Now I know not all of you are into the nitty-gritty info when it comes to the engine's internals, so I'll throw a link down below where you can learn a lot more technical info if that's what you're into. And that leads us into the next thing, which is the electronics package. This is another one of those things that would take about 30 minutes to explain in depth, so we'll just touch on some of the key points, and if you'd like more info, there's a link below. This bike does have throttle-by-wire and has a throttle grip acceleration position sensor integrated into the right handlebar. The APS converts movement of the grip into an electric signal sent to the ECU that then transmits it as an actuator signal to the TBW motor, achieving ideal throttle control relative to your grip angle. You have 5 different power mode selections to choose from, 3 different wheelie control modes, plus being able to turn it off entirely, and you also have Honda's selectable torque control as well, with multiple modes to choose from. You can also turn it off if you're in the mood to slide around and light the rear tire up. And you can also adjust the engine's braking with 3 different settings to really fine-tune how the bike feels. And on top of all that, you have different user modes that you can customize to really fine-tune the entire bike around what you like, and if you'd rather it feel different on Sunday's trip compared to Saturday. And now we'll start the bike up and let you hear what it sounds like in stock form. And that's the 2021 Honda CBR1000RR. What do you guys think about it? Is there anything you wish Honda would have changed for this year? And how many of you guys want to see the RRR model released in the USA for 2022? But how much of a price difference are you willing to pay for that RRR over this RR? Would you pay $2,000 more? $4,000 more? Let me know what you guys think. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Thanks again for watching and for the continued support lately. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you in the next one.